Today, when you Google, what is the #1 school for the blind in America, the first result is the Perkins School for the Blind in Watertown, Massachusetts. But how did the first blind school in America become the large and well-known school that it is today? And how did it alter the way blind and disabled populations are viewed by society in today's world? Beginnings are very important for long-term success, and for the Perkins School, it started with a man named Dr. John Dix Fisher. On a trip to Paris with his brother in 1825, Fisher visited the National Institute for Young Blind Children, the first school for blind students in the world, founded 45 years before the Perkins School in 1784. Dr. Fisher was impressed by the ways the school was able to teach the students many different subjects, including grammar, music, history, and science. This was revolutionary to him considering the situation at the time in America. While the French had started to understand the importance of teaching every child, no matter what their disabilities, in America it was very different. There was a stigma about children with disabilities in America. Society shamed their families, and they were not seen as needing the same education as other children. There were no schools for the blind. This seemed wrong to Dr. Fisher, and after visiting France and understanding what was possible, he was inspired to make change in his home state. This marked the beginning of education for the blind in the United States. Dr. Fisher opened up the school in the summer of 1831 with a new initiative that had never been done before. His new initiative allows students the ability to think for themselves and learn the skills to support themselves. The goal of this was to eventually turn out independent, productive, well-educated members of society. The idea that blind children should be given the same opportunities as sighted children was one that was unthinkable before. But starting in 1832, Dr. Samuel Gridley Howe, a friend of Dr. Fisher, who he had known from his time at Brown University and at Harvard Medical School, helped him to further his plans. The children from the Perkins School for the Blind were taught many subjects similar to those taught in public schools. These subjects include things such as math, science, geography, music, and sports. The programs at the Perkins School for the Blind endured and thrived, and as such, so did the relationships between the students and teachers at the school. One of the most notable relationships being that of Helen Keller, a deaf-blind girl, and her teacher, Anne Sullivan. Having joined the school in 1888, Sullivan and Keller's friendship had instantly begun. Under Sullivan's remarkable approach to teaching, Keller flourished and earned a Bachelor of Arts degree and became largely recognized as a leader in the disability rights movement. In the late 1940s, the Perkins School even started to host science fairs for students to show off scientific models they made out of clay and other tactile materials. The obstacle of not having their sight was not going to stop them from learning, but just required a little more creativity. Today, Perkins upholds its legacy by continuing to create new and exciting initiatives to engage its students. On May 5th, 2016, Perkins launched Blind New World, a campaign with the goal of helping the sighted populations be more inclusive of the blind population and to improve accessibility for them. Blind New World aims to combat stereotypes and encourage the sighted population to see the full potential and capabilities of the blind population. Although it took great strength for Dr. John Dix Fisher, he took the risky step to suggest something unheard of, which ended up changing millions of people's lives who would never have been able to receive an education. By collaborating locally, nationally, and globally with their other lines of business and through their initiatives and teaching methods, Perkins led the large expansion and understanding of education for the blind in the world today.